Not long ago, I shared a tutorial on how to cut and sew a full apron. I was simply excited to teach it, but what I didn't expect was the outpouring love and support it received. Then came a lovely message from one of you requesting that I teach how to cut and sew a half apron. Let's get started. This is the fabric I will be using just for the sake of this tutorial. It's crepe. I would say it's medium weight, not too soft and not too thick. The length of this apron is going to be 16 inches. However, it's going to have a waistband of 1.5-inch width. So my measurements will be starting from 1.5. I will add extra 1 inch to the length of the apron. Half inch will be for the hemming, and the other half is going to be for attaching the waist to the band. Do you remember this erasable pen? I recently shared a short where I briefly talked about the necessity of adding erasable pen to your collection. So I have connected together, as you can see. I will be using half of my hip measurements. My hip is 41, half of that is 20.5. Mind you, this fabric is on fold, so I will be marking 10.25, which is 20.5 divided by 2, and then I will add 0.5 inch to it. That's going to be for sewing allowance. I will check what I have done here and then I will mark it up here. So altogether I have 10.7, 10.2 plus 0.5 inch sewing allowance. That gives us 10.7. So I'm just going to connect together, then I will secure with my pin and I will cut. So this is what we have. You can choose to leave it in this shape, and then you can choose to give the edge a curve like this. Please forgive me guys, I didn't realize that I didn't capture the process of trimming it off, but I do hope you understand. So I'm just trying to perfect this region. Can you see? I'm going to open up for you to see. So this is what we have. So to secure the edges, you are going to need a bias strip. I will show you how to do that. This is how it comes. You will place it like this. The right side of the bias will be facing the right side of your apron, and you are going to stitch like this all around till you get to this other side. And then when you are done, let me just hold it tentatively with pin to show you what I mean. Just imagine that I'm stitching it, and when you're done stitching, you fold like this. You fold over to the wrong side, and then you stitch as neat as possible. You stitch all the way till you get to the other end of the apron. Um, just so I don't teach you something that is rather too simple, we are just going to spice up this apron a little. I have this piece of fabric, it's 2 inches wide. I'll come to if you have enough fabric, you can make it 3 inches wide so that you can fold the hem Do you understand? So I won't be folding. This is just for the sake of tutorial. But instead of using two like I did, you will have to use three so you can fold the hem of the fabric. So let's just imagine that I marked 3 inches and that I have folded the hem of my fabric. So from the upper part, I will come down by 0.5 like this. And then I will also need to secure the edge of this fabric. So I'm going to stitch like this. And when I'm done, I will place it on that 0.5 inch marking, and I will decide where I want my pleat to face, and I will be consistent in my pleating. I have gone over to my sewing machine and I have stitched. As you can see, it starts from my marking all the way to the other end of my apron. At the other end as well, I came down by 0.5. It's not something I did on one side alone. I did it on both sides. So the next thing I'm going to do is to top stitch. So the fabric on the wrong side will be pushed in like this, and I'm going to stitch directly on top of it. Can you see? I hope you understand. This is how it's going to be, and I'm going to stitch directly on top of it all the way till the other end of my apron. Guys, I haven't even given it a press yet, and it's well laid. I simply top stitched and look at what I have. It's so neat. Can you see? I stitched as close as possible. Can you see? So fold your apron like this and indicate the midpoint of your apron. So I have indicated it. As you can see, I'm going to bring the waistband. I didn't exactly measure, but I only measured the width, which is 4 inches. I want the waistband to be 1.5 inch wide. That's why I measured 4 inches. By the time I fold it into two and I stitch with ½ inch on both ends, I will be left with 1.5 inch width. So this is me just trying to see what exactly I have as the length. I have about 59.5. What I just really want is for the waistband to be really longer than my actual waist measurement. My waist is 28. So with 59.5, I have more than 20 inches extra allowance. So it is perfectly fine. I'm going to fold the waistband like this, and I'm going to notch on both ends. I have notched. I'm just going to ensure that the notches that I have on the band aligns with the notch that I have on the waist of this apron. So to the left, I'm going to pin right where the waist of the apron ends. Can you see? And then I will notch. I'll come over to the right hand side and pin right where the waist of the apron ends, and then I will equally notch. The next thing I will do is to come over to this side and stitch all the way to the other side. You can start from any side really. You can start from the left or the right. Just start from one notching to the other. So I have stitched. If you will be doing this for a client at this point, I would suggest that you overlock the edge of this region. This is just a tutorial. I'm just going to leave it like that. but I would strongly recommend that you overlock the edges. You may want to top stitch as well. It's optional for the waist, but if you feel like. So this is how to stitch the concluding part. Can you see? Fold this side into two, fold this in by 0.5 inch, come to the other end and fold by 0.5 inch and place it like this. Then you stitch. I will stitch all the way to the other end like this. I will stop where my notching stops. Then you stitch all the way to that notching that we did the other time. You do remember that we notched this region, right? So because we notched, it's going to be very easy for us to fold it in into 0.5 inch. Can you see? You can actually choose to start your stitching from the notching, and you can start from the tip of the waistband. Whichever one is fine, whichever works for you is fine. So come over to this end and fold it in by 0.5 inch. Can you see? When you get to this end, you fold it like this, just as we did for the other one, and then you stitch. Can you see? So what is an apron without a pocket? Whether half apron or full apron, pockets always come handy, as you may have a few stuffs, you personal belongings you would like to keep in there. So I'm just going to use this fabric. It's 9 inches long and it's 11.5 inches wide. So there is no rule for this. You can make it as wide as you want, or although you may actually want it to be at the center of your apron. However, there is no rule for it. You can use your discretion. I simply marked 1.5 inch at the upper part, and this is how I will be folding it before heading to my sewing machine. Can you see? So I have stitched. That's going to be the upper part of the pocket. This is how I'm going to place it on my apron, ensuring it's indeed at the center of the apron, and I'm going to secure with my pin. To be more detailed about this, you can check how far the pocket is to the left side of your apron, compare it with how far it is to the right side of the apron, and then you can check the base, just to be sure your hand is straight. And it's a wrap, guys. With this, we've come to the end of this tutorial. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel for more easy to follow and practical tutorials till I come your way in my next one. Bye.